Hi, and welcome to Canidae, which is a visual novel style horror game where it's Halloween and you and your friends go out with masks on. I try to flick the lighter again, getting more and more desperate now. I can feel their eyes on me as I fail again to light the fuse, my hand starting to shake. Picturing the skull on Red's face, I flick it harder and lit. I quickly hold it against the fuse as it snakes up the length faster than I was expecting. Remembering my fear of the explosion, I scramble to my feet and run towards them. Clambering noisily to the bushes, I can see Blue perched on a rock and Red leaning against a tree. I don't have time to apologize as I hear the crackling start behind me. Plumes of smoke erupt out of the rocket and the noises get louder and louder and louder until a few sparks sprinkle the ground, but the rocket doesn't even fire. It's a dud. I start to feel the eyes on me again. Red sighs dramatically. Man, seriously? I slowly turn around to face him, my chest constricting as I realize how much I fucked him up. You swore up and down to me that this would be the best way to start the night. You made us watch this instead of going over to Liam's. He breathes in heavily through his mask, the dark eye holes making it impossible to read his expression. I can tell he's becoming furious. He starts to fiddle with his bat. Listen man, I'm sorry. Sean told me how good these were gonna be, and I really believed him. I wanted to impress you. Green, red, and blue? There's still the rest of Halloween. His posture changes as I start to grovel, relaxing the white knuckle grip on his bat. I know it still won't be good enough. Look over at Blue for support, and he just stares back, ugly still. I'll do whatever you want for the rest of the night to make it up. I promise I won't pussy up like with Ed. Red barks out a short laugh at that, back to lazing against a tree trunk. Blue huffs, then starts to root around in his bag, gripping something. I'm gonna make you regret that promise, Runt. Besides, you already owe me. If the night is gonna improve after that, let's go. An idea of what to subject him to, Blue. You guys are not my friends. My chest starts to tighten again, knowing exactly what Blue considers a fun use of his free time. I used to catch him pulling the limbs off bugs when we were younger, not knowing he graduated to something stronger. Until I found the mice in his room. I have been meaning to. Wait, I know what we're gonna do. We're gonna make them Runt get back at Sean for our shitty fireworks. A rock through his window, maybe. I start to breathe again, realizing I'm not going to be subjected to whatever Blue was thinking of. My stomach sinks the second I realize what I'll be doing instead. Wait, I don't know if he deserves... You said anything to make it better, right? This is anything. Sean has deserved it ages before this. I remember when he stole Liam's bike. I wouldn't admit it. A rock is getting off lightly. Red starts to saunter in the direction of Sean's house, and I scramble up behind him. Feeling a prickling in my neck, I turn around and spot Blue stood still behind us. He's staring up at the moon, heavy in the sky. I look a little closer, but then he seems to snap out of it and turn towards me. I scratch the skin under my thick mask, trying to focus on him. A funny feeling starts to form in the back of my mind, like we're somehow making eye contact underneath our masks, even though I can't make out his face. Hurry up, Jesus, you too scared of the dark or something. Blue looks back at the road, straightening up and beginning to amble towards us. I realize how long I've been frozen, watching him, and scurry back in Red's direction. Red snickers at his own joke loudly, and I try to relax again. It feels like we've talked for ages by the time we arrive in Sean Street, probably more like 10 minutes. The dread in the pit of my stomach has only strengthened over the walk. Every trick or treater we walk by makes me feel worse. My family passes me, and I suddenly realize how public this is going to be on a day where everyone is outside. The dread solidifies further. In contrast, Red whistles cheerily next to me, the shaggy wolf's head he's wearing muffling it into an ominous tune. Blue stalks behind us, breathing heavily. It sounds somehow like he's finished running a marathon. Red jauntily raises his bat up to the house, like some kind of circus ringleader. Well, here we are. Looks empty, so try not to shit yourself. He turns around suddenly, surveying the nearby houses. Spotting something he likes, he wanders over to a crumbling brick wall across the street. He kicks harshly at it, old brick showering across the path. Reaching down, he dislodges a large chunk. Here you are, Runt. With that big a target, you shouldn't be able to miss. Yeah, alright. Well, can one of you guys watch out for trick-or-treaters? You sure there's nobody here? You scared of kids, man? Jesus. Just throw the thing. Get his bedroom window, if you can manage it. I want him to know. I don't know about this. Why don't we just... You said you'll do anything, and you will. Or tonight is gonna get much worse. Yeah, but... If you have to ruin it, I'll have to make you regret it. He's stalking towards me, waving his bat madly. I feel like I'm speaking to an alien. He's a duck, sure, but now he's more like a man possessed. I step back, feeling myself start to hyperventilate. A large shape appears next to his bat, gripping it firmly enough that his waving stops instantly. I realize it's blue, as Red lets out a snarl in surprise. Fuck off me, man. He tries to whirl on him, but an inhuman roar erupts through the night's atmosphere. Red nearly drops the brick clutched in his other hand. I realized that it had come from Blue. Hey, whoa, alright. Just throw the goddamn thing, okay? It's like he's being sedated. Blue releases the bat, and Red's arms flops lazily down to his side. Blue looks at me and nods. Okay, I'm doing it, I'll throw. There's a rush of bile in my throat as I look away, incapable of processing whatever I just seen. Unthinking, I raise the brick, breathe in, and throw. The glass shatters, pouring into his bedroom. Abruptly, I realize I can breathe again and take deep gulps of the night air. Red jumps up, hooting enthusiastically at the destruction. Shit, let's go. I take off sprinting down the road, footsteps pounding behind me. My lungs start to burn, but I keep pushing until the world around me starts to get blurrier. I can feel my heart beating out of my chest, deafening me. Finally, I stumble up against a house and stop to rest. God. What's so funny, man? Jesus, can't believe he was there. God, makes up for the firework. But what if we're wearing masks? Relax. Red's attempted comfort does not make me feel better. I feel like the world is closing in on me. Can you imagine the look on his face? Probably wake him up from a nap. Jesus. That, or he's wanking in the dark. That sets him off into further peals of laughter, clutching his chest. Slowly, the world around me starts to right itself again. That's a new best from you. Blue's looking down at me, his whole body curled up against a wall, but somehow still towering over. Hey, yeah, that definitely beats stealing a pint from the pub. Red punches me in the shoulder, and I start to laugh with him, admittedly, pretty amused by the idea of Sean's reaction. God. My turn to be compensated for the fireworks. I peer up at Blue, suddenly remembering what had just happened between him and Red, and what I had promised. My heart drops. Why not? Let's see if we can really make him braver, right? It feels like Red doesn't even remember what had only just transpired between them, back to working together to torment me. Maybe we can do something more Halloweeny now, right? I have something in mind. I take a deep breath, suddenly regretting it as I notice a putrid smell wafting on the breeze. I recoil slightly, then try to conceal my reaction as I realize the scent is coming from Blue. He's not the kind of person who normally smells. Well, good, but this is a lot even for him. He reaches into his bag and pulls out a small shoebox, discolored and torn. The smell gets considerably worse as he holds it out towards me. It smells sweet, in the most sickening possible sense. I resist the urge to gag as I picture whatever could be inside. Red reaches over, trying to grab the box from his hands, but Blue quickly moves it from his reach. Dude, what the fuck's in there? It smells worse than when my cousin left a plate of rotting eggs in my room. Can't open it. It's not for you. Man, I mean there's not anything fucked up in there. Red shifts onto his back foot, before turning away slightly. Actually, I think you'll appreciate this when you know the recipient. Red inclines his head back in Blue's direction, encouraging him to keep speaking. I made it for Jack. Red stops shifting around and suddenly goes completely still. I can't believe this is being brought up. Whatever happened with Jack happened long ago, before I was involved, but I've gotten the sense it was pretty serious. He used to be a good friend of Red's. I was dating Red's sister, but from what I know, the relationship got pretty fucked up. I've also gotten the sense that he's a terrifying guy. God, seriously? We're having revenge tonight, and he deserves it. You know it. All we have to do is get Green to leave this for him. I remember my place in all this, and snap back into reality. I really don't want to be involved in one of Blue's schemes. The way he's acting makes me feel like I'm going to be starring in some crime documentary a year from now. Red clearly notices he's lost control of the night, and I can see him trying to rally himself in my peripheral vision. Well, I won't say no to that. He deserves it. But make this one less useless for sure. He slaps me on the shoulder, but his enthusiasm rings completely hollow. It's not hard to see his heart isn't in it. Still, it's much harder to get out of this now he's approved. Listen, I get what you're doing, but I don't think I can do this without knowing what's in the box. I look over at Red for support, but doesn't seem to be paying me any attention, scuffing his boot against the pavement. And until you put it in there. Come on, why not? No, you can see it if you do it. I hold his gaze for a very tense couple of seconds. It doesn't take a genius to figure out what is probably in that box. As experiments flash in my mind, and I can feel myself becoming even more aware of the smell. Inclining my head up at him, I swear I can see the snout on his mask curling up into a snarl. Jumping, I push myself backwards against a wall and look again, but his mask is completely the same as it was before. Are you turning into a werewolf or something? It's not an actual mask, huh? It was like fusing with you, becoming you. Slowly, he pushes the cardboard box into my hands. No reaction at all to me nearly jumping out of my skin. He swivels on his foot and starts striding off down the street, Red reproachfully following behind. He's hunched over more, boots dragging loudly as he walks. You get the impression he had just woken up, if it wasn't for his bat. Even in the darkness, I could see him gripping it tightly, the veins on his arms prominent from the force. Eventually, I start to trail behind, actively trying not to look at the box in my hands. It dawns on me that Blue prepared whatever I'm holding long before our plans got derailed, which means he was going to do something f***ed up to this guy anyway. Revenge is clearly not a motive for him. Thinking about that just makes me feel sicker, so I try to focus on the Halloween decorations. Jack's house turns out to be pretty close, Blue having led us there. Luckily, it's getting pretty late now. There seem to be less families about. I trudge along with the group before Red suddenly swings his bat out to his side, blocking me from walking. What? Don't get any closer. His lights are on. His earlier cheery demeanor is completely gone as he scans the house. There's an alley around the back that leads straight to his garden. Just turn right and hop over the second fence. That's his. I really do not like how quickly this is escalating. I should have dealt with this guy a long time ago. Red's mood shift is also not helping, as I imagine if he lingers here much longer, he might actually get to use his bat. I realize I need to just get this over with. But I just can't. Guys, this is crazy, yeah. Stop being a little f***ing weasel, right? Aren't you supposed to be a coyote tonight? I'd forgotten how quick he had been to fly off the handle earlier, but watching him turn on me so fast, I realized how much more unstable he seems. Can't even bear to look at Blue, knowing he orchestrated this beforehand. Alright. First on the right, yeah. Blue just nods affirmatively. I don't want to know why he knows this. Stumbling into the alley, I realize the stench of the box is only getting worse. I gag a little, but try to quieten myself as I get closer. Shuddering, I realize I could just leave it in the alley, or find some bin for it. There's no reason to get arrested doing Blue's weird shit, while you'll never know otherwise. As I look into the alley, my eyes are drawn upwards to the sky. A horrible shiver goes up my spine as I look at the moon, surprisingly large among the stars. The feeling that something is deeply wrong fills my chest. The moonlight is relaxing. My legs start to move of their own accord, and I realize I'm going to fulfill Blue's task anyway. The fence stretches up before me, and I reach up to grasp the top, pulling myself ungracefully up and over. I land with more of a thump than I would have liked in his garden, urgently trying to assess my surroundings. It's a pretty disgusting garden. Patches of grass wilting, and piles of rotting wooden furniture laying in corners. Nearer to the door lies a large wire cage among various clothes that have clearly fallen off the washing line and been left in the dirt. Hearing movement on the other side of the fence, I remember the situation I'm in. I scramble up to the back door and quickly lay the box down, pausing as I grip the lid. Is that a dog? A rabbit? It's clearly been skinned and left to sit in this box for who knows how long, congealed blood coating the inside. A wave of nausea hits me faster than I can process it, and I pry off my mask before vomiting into the grass. I feel dizzy as I look up again, trying to contain my retching. Fuck. I try not to think about the implications, what I'm looking at, and turn away from it, back towards the fence. I grasp at it again, up, nearly fall flat onto the ground on the other side. Breathing deeply, I wipe at my eyes under the mask and try to pick myself back up. I lean heavily against the wall for a second, my legs not willing to cooperate. I'm not in the garden anymore, but I'm still too close by, so I hasten my feet and drag myself into the street. I avert my gaze as I approach them. I can't bear it. Right, let's go. I hear Red moving away from us, and I try to shadow him, bringing my breathing back to a normal level. Andy grips my shoulder, and I hear mocking laughter from over it. Hey, it'll get a reaction. He's too close to me. I can't even stomach a nod to the affirmative. I swallow. You gotta tell me what was in the box, seriously. I tilt my head lopsidedly up at him, trying to focus on the words. That was my plan. I'll tell you. I didn't say you'd be impressed. Red stands at attention, clearly hating the suspense. I remember you mentioning he had a rabbit. He thinks that we're missing 6 days ago. He'll know where it went now. The world feels like it goes out from under me as I watch Red's reaction. His shoulders tense up even further. Then they drop. Then they tense again. He looks away, wildly, and then looks back. There's his rabbit. His bat starts to move at his side, twitching as he shakes. That's a goddamn rabbit. My sister loved that thing. You sick f***. What the hell's wrong with you? He snarls, and I swear I see a flash of yellow in the eye holes of his mask. A wolf staring back at him, back at me. All at once, it leaps at Blue, bat raised over his head. I throw myself out of the way as Blue grasps him midair, their bodies colliding as they both tumble to the floor. Hey, stop. I feel like I'm watching something more animal than human. Bodies of matted fur, rolling in constant motion. Very quickly lifts his bat and swings, Blue's head snapping to the side with the force. The forcer goes limp for a second before surging back to life, kicking at him. Red raises his arms to strike at him again, but Blue roars and throws himself upwards. Rolling over, he uses his sheer size to pin Red beneath him. I should step in, but I can't breathe. He grips Red's mask, sliding his head down into the pavement with incredible brutality. And again. And again. Holy shit. I am helping you, you idiot. Have you done anything to him this whole time? Get your own revenge. The light goes out of Red's eyes, the formerly primal energy seeming to dissolve instantly. They look almost comical on the ground, 2 men in Halloween masks wrestling each other in the grass. Can't believe how different it seemed just a second before. Blue gets off him, wiping at the grass stains on his trousers, like he's been mildly inconvenienced. Can't move. She loved that thing. Red lays there limply for a second, before climbing roughly to his feet and steadying himself. I'm gonna go get a drink. I need a bear, just stay here. He turns to me, putting my gaze for what feels like an eternity. He starts to limp away from us, but speeds up the further he gets until he's running full speed around the corner. Realize how he's left me, alone with him. I turn away from Blue, trying to process everything that just happened. The moon is unnaturally large in the sky, hanging ominously over us. I stare at it, trying to imagine it as some kind of cosmic paradise I could escape to. As I gaze at it, my vision starts to fuzz at the corners. I feel as if I can see Red's bat, raised upwards as he gets ready to strike. I see Blue and his experiments, mice rotting in their cage. I feel an overwhelming pressure pulling on my chest, rage filling me up and threatening to spill over. Every time Red has screamed at me, every time I've seen Blue perform some sick stunt, everything I've seen tonight. Embrace the evil? Staring at the milky surface of the moon, I can see all the violence I can reflect back on them, all the pain. Blue crunches through the grass to me, snapping me out of my thoughts. The second I look away from the moon, the cacophony inside my head grows quiet, but an incredible yearning to look back blossoms in its place. Blue is looking up at the same view. Blue? I'm not really thinking as I speak, a strange confidence coming over me. What? Let him be the crybaby for tonight. I cough and stare at the grass, the breeze starting to chill me through my costume. We can't fucking attack each other. It isn't right. I have no idea how I'm doing this. Looks his gaze over to me, annoyance starting to show in his stance. You'll notice, he was the one to attack me. Am I supposed to not defend myself? There's an incredible threat in his tone now. You knew what you were doing. I've known you long enough to be sure that you knew exactly what you were doing with Red and that poor fucking rabbit. His head barely flicks to me this time. Before I know it, he slammed me back against the fence. I choke out as he pins me against it, one hand on my neck, another gripping my left arm. You are a coward. You're up. He squeezes harder. I pinwheel my legs around in an attempt to kick at him. He's too strong. I did it because he deserves it. You think I care about what? Our personal bond. I scratch at his hold with my other arm, cringing away from his rancid breath. I wanted a reaction out of him, and I got it. You get so upset over what happened to a bunch of animals, but you don't realize. It slams me back into the fence again. You're both mice in the cage. You're just the more pathetic one. One of my kicks finally connects a little harder, his knee bulking under him. I try to dive away, but he's still latched onto my arm, and he pulls himself down on top of me, snarling. I cringe from the punch, my head snapping against concrete. Look at me. Look at me. He grasps the snout of my mask and pulls it around, facing directly towards him. My head throbs from his attacks, but as my eyes focus in, I see that he's not human anymore. His mask has come alive, formerly dark eye holes illuminated by a piercing yellow gaze. He snarls louder, his canines shining in the light of the street lamp. I feel claws digging into the flesh of both my arms. It smells like he's trying to speak to me. A twisted growl, letting its way out instead. Suddenly, I see the moon over his shoulder, my vision sharpening down to a point. I twist and kick, sending him toppling over my side. I clamber to my feet and kick at his torso, only vaguely hearing the sound of my own snarling as I strike again and again. Stepping back, I feel a deep wrongness within myself. His crumpled form lays beneath me, chest heaving as he takes in deep gulps of breath. Feel like claws. We are becoming a werewolf. The moonlight shines on him now, even larger on the horizon. I realize I want to kill him. Fight back or embrace it. Sure. An incredible warmth fills me as I stare down at him. The breeze rushes around my ears, the sound of the grass rustling, filling the soundscape. I can hear mice scampering through the dirt and feel an urge to rush towards them, but Blue's wheezing reminds me of what I'm doing. I turn to him, tense, as I watch him twitch. Something crunches, hard. He brings his legs up to stand, his leg spasms, and his boot falls away, revealing a clawed foot. Groans as his bones shift out of place, his arm snapping and reshaping before my eyes. I take the opportunity given to me and pounce. He lets out a half-formed snarl as I try to bite at his neck, only vaguely aware that my mask is in the way. My body has started to feel incredibly distant, and it switched to raking down his torso with my nails. A horrible squeal emits from its throat, which switches to a choke snarling as the body continues to fight against them. I can feel him reshaping underneath me, his large torso creaking and shuddering. Stabbing my knee down into him, I feel a sickening snap as his chest caves in. His yellow eyes stare up at me, and for a second, I wonder what I'm doing. I feel a horrible shifting in my leg, and then I feel my knee joint disconnect. The fox kicks out underneath me, his claws now engulfing him. I try to keep my hold on the squirming mass beneath me, but my vision blurs as my hips shift and crunch. I fall backwards, my head striking the pavement. The pain engulfs me as I lay there, spasming as I try to resist the changes. And the waves hit as I try to scramble to my feet. My trousers tangled around my feet. Pain now radiates through my arms, each of my fingers cracking as it reform into tiny stumps. As the feeling fades for a brief second, a fox lands on top of me. Blue's turned into a fox. So Red's a wolf, we are a coyote. Teeth sink into my neck, and I try to scream. I try to swat at the bird, form above me. My half-formed legs useless as the pain swamps me. The teeth dig in further, twisting as I feel something tear. Warmth rushes down my neck, and I desperately summon all my strength to throw the fox off, hearing it smack the tarmac next to me. It squeals and squirms. I turn over, attempting to use my right arm to clutch at the deep gash. My shoulder feels fused in place, and I realize my arm can no longer reach up to my neck. I thud down limply as my strength leaves me. I hear claws scrabbling next to me, knowing I can't fight back. I uselessly curl in on myself and try to use my malformed body to defend my head. Struggling to breathe, overwhelming urge to rip at my throat engulfs me. Through my flesh give way to teeth and claws, pinpricks of fire erupting across my body. My throat is raw from screaming. Nausea fills my chest as I realize my head is reshaping, my jaw lengthening and snapping into place. My gums burn as large canines pass their surface. A deep itch covers my whole body. I nearly choke on my own tongue as I try to shut my mouth, my mask growing completely suffocating. I can barely register the creature above me. The world starting to go dark as everything swamps me. The fox. I wake from the start, raking my claws against the fox. It's smaller than I am, blood soaked into its matted fur. My whole body screams, the adrenaline within me is overpowering. Interesting. So, as a human, Blue is taller. Well, he's bigger. But when transformed into a fox, he's smaller than us. I lunge at it. I wonder if it's like based on our feelings, since we hate him so much. Or it could just be like the animal, the mask we have. The scrolling only drives me on. I swipe at its face, pouring lines from its ear down to its eye. It stumbles back from me, and I push, fighting down against its pathetic form. Blood hums underneath warm fur, and I go in for the kill. One last, horrifying squeal rises from its throat, and it goes limp in my jaws. We win. I pull back, faint recognition stirring in my mind. The longer I look at it, the more confused I feel. This isn't where I should be, and I don't remember why I'm here. Swiveling my ears, I refocus on my environment. The sky is getting lighter on the horizon, and I grow concerned about getting back home. I don't know what that is. Everything feels increasingly fractured, a sense of tragedy blossoming on my chest. I trot in a small circle, recognition beginning to flicker, fading away faster than I can understand it. I look back down at my prey, worried somehow that it was still alive. Completely unmoving, it lays there. In the corner of my vision, I see the source of the growl. Red. A large wolf stands in the distance, teeth bared and glinting. Tragedy turns to horror, into horrible recognition, and it grows. The moonlight shines down on it, wet blood hitting its snout. It stalks towards me, faster now. I have no time to think. I run. I know I can't outrun it, but everything in my body is screaming at me to try. The pounding behind me is only getting louder. Run. 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 The world smears past me in streaks of light, labyrinthian streets yawning out at me. It's getting closer. Run. I don't know where I'm going, but I feel purpose. Something in me is desperately trying to break free. It's almost upon me now. Colliding heavily with me, it sends me flying across the grass. I dodge the snarling jaws over me and scamper to the side. Teeth come down on my back leg, and a sickening crunch rings out. I scream, choking on my own saliva. The slavering jaws are on me, tearing into the wound. I swipe out, feeling my claws pierce one of the wolf's eyes. Liquid runs over my paw. It retreats, stumbling over its own paws as blood spurts from its face. I clamber upwards, forgetting the extent of my injury. A deep snap and a feeling of wrongness radiates through my body, and I fall heavily down to the floor. I feel my leg. I realize all at once that I'm not getting away. The wolf stalks back towards me, a deep growl rumbling in its chest. I brace myself, knowing that it wrists to my neck, a mangled throat coming apart instantly. Instead of pain, numbness begins to fill my body. I try to raise the hand up to stop the flow, but I have no hand to stop it. A pool of warm blossoms beneath me, my body tingling as it does. It feels much nicer with the chill of the wind. My head flops down on its own, and I realize I can't lift it back up. I look at the house in front of me. The night is peaceful. Recognition flickers distantly in my head. I look closer. The smell of something in the kitchen wafting out towards me. This feels... I know where I am. My claws scrapple once or twice on the grass as I try desperately to stand. This. Ending 1. Embrace. That's pretty cool. There's a lot of action. We'll fight back this time. I resist the boiling anger fizzing within me, reaching up and grasping my mask. Yeah, anger. So, here's my thoughts is what's happening right now. So, depending on how much anger you have, you transform more and more quickly. So, when Red left, he was like super angry, right? Which is why the wolf is the biggest out of us, since he's like so angry. Green? Well, he didn't like being treated by them right, which is why we got those visions when we looked at the moon. And we became the second biggest. Blue, on the other hand, well, he's not really malicious. He's kind of just evil. He's not doing it because he's angry. He's doing it because it's fun, which is why he's the smallest. He's the fox of the group. I feel hot and claustrophobic, wanting out of the stupid costume as quickly as possible. A hissing noise fills my head, growing louder as I dig my fingers into the greasy fabric. It grows in volume, and I can feel my legs starting to shake. I pull, and fresh air falls in. The glow of the moon no longer seems inviting, but revolting. I look down at Blue's damaged form, and it feels as if a miasma is surrounding him. The air is charged. As I approach him, whatever was influencing me finally having seeped deep into his body. His heavy breathing sounds more like growling, and I see his chest rising and falling rapidly. I don't know whether to run, or wait, or try to help him. I've seen him be fucking cruel, but never imagined he would attack one of us. As I crouch there, he starts to change. A twitch starts in Blue's leg, looking almost like a dog trying to scratch itself. Suddenly, a sickening crunch rings out. I fall back and scrape my hands across the tarmac as he starts wildly twisting around. The screaming and coming from him is like nothing I've ever heard. There are horrible deep crunches emanating with bits. As he kicks his leg out, his boot comes flying off, revealing a clawed foot. A deep sickness forms in my gut, and I crawl over, trying to bend the lower half of his body. I'm not sure what I'm trying to achieve, but the horror in my stomach spurs me on. He catches me with a claw as I fail again to grasp him at the knee. It's formed smaller than I imagined, than I expected. Something crunches again, louder this time. If he couldn't hear his body, he would think he was having a seizure. It's clearly much worse than that. I finally pin his lower body, something in his torso shuddering as I do. I look up to see him clawing at his mask and human hands tearing into himself. All at once, it hits me. The mask. He keeps thrashing, no indication that he can hear at all. I realize I need to get it off him, and fast, for his body deforms further. I reach over, trying to grasp at its head, but he twists it back and forth ceaselessly. I gasp as his fist connects with my abdomen, feeling winded as I try not to fall off him. As something snaps beneath me, I surge upwards, hands reaching wildly. Reaching and got. I grasp the snout of the mask and pull up, twisting. It is more resistant than I expected, and he bucks me off with another kick. Still, I keep my hold on it and pull harder. What if he just rip his face off? The fabric emanates warmth, and I try not to think of the implications that I rip and hear a tear. I fly back as the mask finally comes away, landing roughly on my back. Breathing sharply, I collapse back against the road. Yeah, holy shit. Once the hammering has resided in my chest a little, I slide unsteadily back to my feet. I can finally see his face, blood-soaked but intact. His eyes have rolled back in his head, and his breathing is faint, but I can no longer hear his body shifting and breaking. It dawns on me, the kind of changes his body has already gone through. I didn't even know a little bit what this could mean for him. It's ringing in my head as I start to sit in. I mean, he attacked me, but I can't imagine him deserving that. He just changed. I look back up at the moon, but it makes the ringing louder, so I quickly revert my gaze. And Christ. The world feels like it's tilted on its axes, as I look down at my own hands, then the mask. Have I changed as well? Did that ever happen to me if I hadn't taken my own mask off? That thought makes the sickness in my stomach nearly bubble over, and I take a deep breath of the night air. Should I call someone? What would I even say? My head is really spinning now, and I resist the urge to sit down. The sound is distant, but I feel as if I've been hollowed out. The rumble seeps into my bones as I look around for the source. In the corner of my eye, I see it. Piercing yellow eyes stare back at me in the darkness. Horrible recognition swamps me. I know at once that this creature is red. His lips curl at the snarl, grows in volume, slowly stepping towards me from the shadows. As the light is cast on him, I see the unmistakably tint of dark blood around his jaws. He moves with the predator's grace towards me. I look my eyes down to blue, realizing I can't leave him like this. As I look back up, the wolf is even closer to me, moving silently across the road. I know I have to act, but I have no idea what to do. There's no way I can carry Blue anywhere, but he can't get himself away. I look back up at it. Muscles in its hulking form shift elegantly under the matted fur, its huge size becoming clearer every second. I realize there is nothing I can do for Blue. Turning, I run. My heart thumps against my ribcage, resisting clattering to the floor as I sprint away. I slam my foot back into my shoe as it nearly falls off. I don't hear anything behind me, panting, filling my ears. Spots begin to appear in my eyes, so I'm forced to stop and lean against the building. I breathe heavily, memories of running away, after throwing the rock, flooding back to me. It was like years ago, even though it can only have been an hour. The moon hangs heavily overhead, its sickly glow calling out to me again. I can hear a horrible rending of flesh as it shines on me, shredded by sharp canines. I pound my fist against a wall until I can no longer hear it and sink down. I must be losing my mind. Deliriously, I close my eyes. I see that blood-soaked maw. I think of Jack, and an epiphany comes to me. I don't know why. I feel in my core that it was his blood. Jack's his sister's boyfriend, the one we gave the rabbit to, right? So I guess he went to go get revenge? Or he's just like super angry. Shakily, I rise to my feet, an unknown sense of purpose beginning to fill me. I must have killed him. I know it. I don't feel tethered to reality anymore, but I know what has done this. Red must have gone back for his revenge. I already know I've left Blue to die. If I had just not done his sick prank, or not fucked up the night in the first place, maybe none of this would have happened. You didn't ruin the night. Those two were already planning it in the first place, so I can't let people keep dying. Whereas I'm going to need to kill that creature. Going to need to kill Red. My legs start to move without me, and I let them lead. I feel myself coming in and out of reality as I stumble around, glowing decorations flickering in the dark. I need to find him again. I'm concerned about what I'm going to see when I reach him. Holding him wretch, as images of Blue flash in my mind. Unlike Red, I'm not used to getting into fights. I draw a small pocket knife out of my trouser pocket, warm from the proximity. Realistically, the blade is tiny. I got it as a gift, and only rarely carried out of habit and convenience. I try not to think about how I'm actually going to use it as I flip out the blade and clutch the handle. Slowly, I stagger back into the street with Blue. I quickly avert my eyes as a large, blooded form catches my attention. I know exactly who it belongs to. I hold in a wretch as I half walk, half run past it, seeing no sign of the wolf around. I start breathing again as I enter the alley nearby, almost pitch black in the darkness. Eventually, I realize I've nearly worked my way back to the field where our night began, and quicken my pace towards it. My shoes crunch in the dewy grass, and I briefly hope I don't step in any dog shit. The thought seems ridiculous considering the circumstances. Yeah, I mean, fair enough, I guess. And I let out a slightly unhinged laugh. The bushes rustle to my side, and I look over. I see the yellow of his eyes first. The predatory form stalks outwards from the tree line, canines glinting. I realize how hard I'm shaking as I see it drop some kind of fleshy mass from its jaws. A childish scream rings out, and I twist to see a kid in the ghost costume, turning and running down the street. Sweets fly from their plastic pumpkin basket as they sprint out of view. Shit. I turn back around, seeing the wolf now significantly closer, maybe 3 meters away. Thankful it didn't chase off the kid. In a weird way, it seems to have jolted me out of my paralysis. I sprint forwards. A snarl rips out, the large beast charging forwards as well. Its large face collides with my arm as I twist out of its way at the last second. The wolf slams me back, and I quickly refocus on the knife on my left hand. It turns to me again as I plant the blade into its shoulder, warm blood hitting my fist. It yelps, but keeps pushing forward. I try to hold it back with one hand, my fingers releasing the knife. Shit. I realize how futile this is, and try to throw it back, feeling a claw pierce somewhere around my belly button. I scream. Teeth clap over my hand, and I scream once more. In a fit of adrenaline, I wrap my hands around its neck, around its thick neck, and use all the strength I can summon. I slam its head down into the ground, feeling it go limp for just a second to release my bloodied fist. Terror consumes me, and I jump to my feet, the world hazy. I start to limp away, quickening into a sprint as I hear pounding behind me. Pain in my hand darts up my whole torso, feeling like an electric shock. As I reach the street, I realize I've got no idea what I'm doing, the impossibility of outrunning this creature. The knife didn't seem to slow it down even a little. Terror grows in my chest, but a bend to my left gives me an idea. Carrying the wolf right behind me, I reach out and grab. I stumble slightly as I pull down, but the bin lands loudly to the floor behind me. The wolf slams into it, garbage falling into the street. I take advantage of the brief distraction and turn sharply into another road. I have absolutely no direction, but something catches my attention. Strips of fabric lie in a heap, along with, wait, a large, dented bat sits amongst it. Red's bat? No way. I have no time to consider what led me here, as I reach down and grip the bat, hearing snarling behind me. Oh, nice. I swing, feeling metal collide with flesh. Another yelping snarl rings out, and I see the furred body hit the floor. It recovers fast though, lowering back towards me. You're gonna find out why humans are superior. It moves faster than I expect, and the bat glances off as its teeth digs into my arm. I splutter and scream, but it digs in further. I fall back, and there's something tear, with its teeth finally leaving my arm. Everything starts to fade, but I urge myself back to reality as it surges towards my face. It moves in slow motion as I feel myself swinging the bat up towards it. It gets closer and closer, and I hit it first as it falls down, limp body flopping on top of me. I struggle to push it off, finally sliding my legs out from underneath it. As I stand up, I swing again. It twitches and brings up a paw to stand. I decide to hit it again to be sure, and again. Double tap. Everything goes still as I hit it again, seeing the color truly leave its eyes this time. My head spins as I realize it might all actually be over. I feel like I've slipped into a different world without me knowing. I look over at it, and its chest no longer raising and lowering as it breathes. I remember exactly what this is. I laugh a little, feel sick, and throw up onto the street beside me. I sit down hard, feeling weakness throughout my whole body, racing my head against the road. I watch the stars. I think I'm going back home. I can't find the strength to move. A feeling of madness descends on me, and I realize something is truly broken. I clamber up to my feet, clutching the bats limply in my hand. I ignore the feeling of warmth gushing over my arm. As I begin to walk away, I hear police sirens in the distance. Ending 2. Fight back. That has been Canidae, a cool game. It was fun. The art style's pretty unique. I rarely see games with this type of art style. Kind of like, I wouldn't say it's pixelated, it's just like rendered differently. The story's pretty interesting as well. So you can say that green is being peer pressured into doing a lot of things, right? I'm not quite sure what is causing them to turn into like animals. So it's something with the moon and something with the mask as well. So the mask turned them into the animal they wear, whereas the moon causes the change. So yeah, I think it's quite literal that they were turning into these monsters, or it could be metaphorical that they lost control of their emotions and became violent. Although I'm more inclined to say it's more literal in the sense that they turn into animals. Cool game. I like the music and the sound effects. The occasional snarl sound and growling. That's nice. So, thank you everyone for watching, and later.